So the Bank of England is expected to cut interest rates this week. They're expected to have the rate drop from 4.25%, which is where it currently is, to 4%. So it's going to be a 0.25% drop. Now, that's 5 cuts in the last 2 years. And while a lower interest rate might sound like a win, especially at the moment, it's not always good news. The truth is, rate cuts like this often mean that there's something wrong. It means that the economy's struggling. It means businesses are holding back. Hiring has slowed down. And people, normal people like us, aren't spending like they used to. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't afford to. Wages haven't kept up with all the inflation, with all the bills and everything that's going on. Taxes have gone up again. And if you believe the headlines, they're going to go up again in autumn. So, for most people, like you and I, staying afloat, just staying where you were, is much harder than it's ever been before. So, what the bank does is they cut rates, and they cut rates to help make borrowing cheaper. And all that does is make sure that they can keep making money. It's not about helping you out. It's about trying to keep the whole system afloat. Stop it from tipping over. Because if businesses stop spending, if consumers stop buying, if confidence disappears altogether, that's when we're in real trouble. And if your only plan is to keep working hard, stay employed, and hope things settle down, you're gambling with your future. Because when business confidence drops, jobs get cut, promotions disappear, salaries freeze, and that's already starting to happen. And the average person, you and I, average people have absolutely no backup plan. But there are other ways around this. Because underneath all the mess, and it's a bloody mess, there's opportunity. And Warren Buffett said it better. That be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And you also need to realise that all millionaires and billionaires are created in times like these, when there's uncertainty, especially through property. But let me explain why. Lower interest rates don't just affect big banks. They don't just affect corporations. They affect mortgages. So we're now seeing fixed rate mortgages drop below 4% for the first time in a long time. That means your monthly costs are going to be lower. So what you can do is you can actually do deals right now that they wouldn't have worked last year. And that's the first signal. At the same time, we're still seeing high demand for rental property because there aren't enough good rentals on the market. There just aren't. We have a huge housing shortage in this market, in this country, and we're not, on top of it, we're not building enough homes. And we're pretty much going to miss the housing target as well. Plus, we have net high immigration. So, the other thing to remember is, even if we hit that house building target, even if the government pull it out of the bag and they hit the target, there'll still be a housing shortage. Why? Because that target is just about satisfying the current demand without forward projecting the current levels of immigration we've got going on. So, even if we hit the target, we're still going to need more properties. So we're in a lose-lose at the moment, yeah? Government are not going to fix this problem. And because of that, rents have gone up. And they've gone up in the last few months, and they're still going up. In my local area, you can expect to pay about £1,200 a month for a 3-bed. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bed. Go back just before the C word, and it would have been £500. Now it's £1,200. That's just how much rents have gone up in a space of a few years. And that's because it's supply and demand, because it's a market, and markets are dictated by supply and demand. So right now we've got a situation where house prices are reducing. Rightmove confirmed this just the other day, that, you know, house prices have dipped by their biggest amount in over 20 years since their records began. Mortgage rates starting to fall because the Bank of England is starting to reduce interest rates, and at the same time rents are rising because we've got a housing shortage and there's a lack of decent quality accommodation, and that doesn't happen very often. It's usually it's about every 10-15 years or so, and it never lasts, and this time it's not going to last either. And this right now is the kind of window investors wait for. But most people don't actually realise that they're in that window until it's already gone. They wait for permission. They wait for the headlines to scream, now's the time to invest. But by then, everyone's piled in, prices have gone up, the available stock on the market's tighter, all the best deals are gone. So instead of waiting, what if you got prepared? What if you learned how to spot a good deal? What if you learned how to actually do the numbers and what good numbers look like? What if you learned how to use leverage and understand how leverage works, and also how not to use it? And what if you learn how to figure out how to raise money, even if it's not your own, so you can do these deals even if you've got no money? And more importantly, what if you learn all of that? Because they're tangible skills and they're never going to leave you. They don't leave you, they stay with you for your life, and you can just continue to create more money and more wealth. And that's exactly why we created Property School. So Property School, it's not for people who've already got 10 plus houses. It's not for people who've got 100k plus in their bank and they just want to buy a few properties. It's for people who want to start from scratch, who want to understand how this stuff actually works. And inside, we take you through how to analyse a deal professionally, how to raise money from private investors and JV partners, how to buy property even if you've never done it before, content about every single property strategy that there is, you know, BRR, SA, deal packaging, no money down in creative property, investing, commercial conversions. It's all in there. Plus, on top of that, we release new content every Wednesday. Today, we just ramped up a couple of hours ago, week 4 of AI property hacks for property investors, about learning how to use AI in your property investing business. And you can join from less than 40p a day. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. You can just go in, consume everything and cancel if you like. We're not going to tie you into anything. So I'm going to invite you now to go check it out. It doesn't cost you anything just to check out the webpage. Just go over to property.school/go. That's property.school/go. There's an explainer video on there and some more further information about what it's all about. So, if you need the link, there's a link in my bio. So after this video, just go check my bio out and click the link. Just check it out. And look, let me make this final point, because the economy's in a weird place right now. And I get why people feel stuck. And I get why they end up doing nothing. But doing nothing waiting for permission, waiting to understand a bit more, that's the most expensive choice of all. Because the window is open right now. Low rates, high rents, low house prices, high demand. There's more access to lending than there's been in years. And more importantly, there's more motivated sellers right now. And if you miss it, you'll look back in 6 to 12 months' time and you'll realise what could have been. So just take your first step now. Not because it's perfect, but because doing something is better than doing nothing at all and staying still. Go check it out. Head over to property.school/go. Come join us, come check us out, and we'll get you moving fast. I'll see you inside.